That was the lowest scoring Super Bowl in the history of the NFL. The lowest scoring Super Bowl. They barely had to do anything on offense. It was a defensive struggle. And in fact, the defense in the running game, carry Brady. Game manager is not a dirty word. Be big on third down when you need to. Don't turn the ball over. Let the defense in the running game do their thing. And that stuff plays hand in hand. And it worked, right? It's like a positive feedback loop. And it worked. But that's how Brady won with the Patriots when last seen. And this season, what's happened so far? Like, why do we really like the Bucs? Because of Tom Brady? Well, certainly he's an effective game manager plus, on that team for sure. With those weapons, it's ridiculous. And he's looked very good. I'm not taking credit away from him. I'm being honest. He's looked really good, I think. He knows how to use those weapons. They haven't always been healthy. And I get it. Evans and Godwin and AB and all those guys. Yes, it's good. But guys, the defense is the reason that we think of the Bucs differently from some of these other high-scoring teams. It's the defense. You know what's the number one defense in the NFL by a lot of metrics? It's the Bucs, and most of them have them in the top 3 in the NFL. So if you're riding maybe the elite defense in the league, by the way, just look at what happened yesterday, right? We're talking about a game that is competitive until the second half when the defense clamps down. And what the Panthers have total offense in the second half, like 5 yards, 20 yards, 50 yards, like not much. As soon as the defense clamped down, the game was over. Not taking credit away from Tom Brady, and they have a high-flying offense, but the defense is what separates the Bucs. And if they win a Super Bowl, it's going to be a huge reason why.
Well, listen, here's the deal. The fact of the matter is we started thinking about this defense. We started thinking about this team differently from the moment Tom Brady arrived, because we didn't have to worry about a quarterback giving new meaning for 30 for 30 with Jameis Winston, who threw 30 interceptions to go along with his 33 touchdowns, nor was it were we thinking about the fact that for the first time in NFL history, a quarterback deserved to be named Defensive Player of the Year, because that's what Jameis Winston looked like last year. We didn't have to worry about that with Tom Brady this year. Certainly the defense is definitely formidable, and that's a big story because last year they were ranked like 29th in the league defensively. Now they're ranked like 8th. They had the 30th ranked defense against the pass. Now it's like 10. They still have the number 1 ranked defense against the run. We get all of that about Tampa Bay, but it's about this offense. It's about Tom Brady. It's about Antonio Brown, who had about 7 receptions for 69 yards yesterday. It's about him with Godwin and Evans and Gronk. Even though he only had 2 receptions for 51 yards yesterday, one was a 44-yard catch. We're just seeing him in big moments step up and really make his presence felt. With O.J. Howard being gone for the year, you're looking at a situation where we've got Gronk to go along with Antonio Brown, Godwin, Evans. And oh, by the way, even though the numbers say Tampa Bay is like 23rd rank in the run, Ronald Jones Jr. is averaging over 5 yards a carry. Leonard Fournette is averaging over 4 yards a carry. It's not like they don't have a running game. So they've got a running game. They've got pass blockers. They've got a passer in Tom Brady. They've got weapons at the receiver spot all over the place, with Gronk elevating his level of play. Yes, we can give credit to the defense because it's vastly improved, and we understand that. But in the end, whether it's scoring points, moving the chains, or doing both, the key to Tampa's success is going to come down to Tom Brady and that offense and how formidable they can be.
Hey, real quick,
scaring the living hell out of the opponents.
I'm sorry, RC, real quick. What does one play and 98 yards do to your yards per carry, do you think? I think it would help it. It would jack it up.
But what was Ronald Jones doing before that?
I don't know, but that
he was averaging over 4 yards a carry before that.
Maybe, yeah, sure. I mean, the median. I wonder what the median yards per carry. The mean is high. Yeah, go ahead.
Just talking about yesterday. I was talking about the season.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Listen, Ronald Jones has been good. Leonard Fournette has been great in pass protection, also on third down, catching the football. And obviously, we understand all the weapons they have outside. But it's about this defense. The Mondays that we get on this show, or the days after the games when we get on this show and we raved about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it was the days the defense played really good. Like when they played the Green Bay Packers and Tom passed for about 165. We weren't in here like, oh my goodness, this offense is so good, because it was 10-0, and then Jamel Dean gets an interception. And then the next drive, then Carlton Davis forces an interception with a PBU against Devontae Adams, and that's when the onslaught starts. And then the next week they play the Las Vegas Raiders, who are a really good football team, and we got Devin White with 3 sacks, 11 tackles. He's running sideline to sideline, blasting Derek Carr. And we started saying, okay, now this is the team, right? This is the most complete team in the NFC, because we understand what they could do offensively, but when this defense shows up, it's different. And then when the defense doesn't play as well, when the defense isn't balling, we don't really know. Even in the first half yesterday, Tom Brady was as good as we'd ever seen him all season, but the defense was getting carved up by Teddy a little bit. Teddy was efficient. Teddy had a high completion percentage. They continued to move the ball, and you were like, oh, it looks all right. Then JPP gets the interception. Then they start to get a couple of sacks. They knock Teddy Bridgewater out of the game, and then you start to think, now, this is the team we were expecting to win the NFC. The offense is going to do what they do. If they protect Tom Brady, they will move the football. What elevates this team to a different stratosphere, why it looked so bad when they played against the New Orleans Saints, and New Orleans Saints play so great defensively, is because it's going to be the team that figures out championship defense that wins the NFC. So it's going to be about Devin White. It's going to be about Shaq Barrett. It's going to be about that secondary, that very young but talented secondary. Making plays, turning the football over, and giving Tom Brady extra possessions, because that's how a team will win the NFC.
Well, let me tell you, before I give it to Max, let me tell you where I disagree with you, Ryan. I disagree with you in terms of what we talked about when Tampa Bay had won these games. Obviously, we recognize the fact that defense wins championships. I just finished saying that a few segments ago. We understand that. But what I'm saying is, when we talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and you want to compartmentalize when we raved about them, well, let me remind you, when they dropped 38 on the Chargers, we raved about that offense.
Right.
When they dropped 38 on Green Bay, we raved about that offense. When they dropped 45 on the Raiders, we raved about that offense. What I'm saying, I'm not trying to say that we didn't mention the defense, because we know they vastly improved. But we raved about it, and then we spent a couple of weeks talking about Antonio Brown because of how formidable they were going to be offensively, even more so that they got that
for the injuries.
I'm not saying defense don't matter, guys. I'm just saying that when we look at Tampa, the reason why we've got them as a championship on this level, when we're talking about them, it's because of what we're fantasizing about with that damn offense.
Everything you just said, I'm not going to hold that against Brady, because he was working with injuries and he's in a new system and they have to figure it out. His style of play is very different from Arians' style of play. So I'm not, but were it not for that, I think what you would be bringing up is an indictment on Brady. In other words, there are all these weapons and all this stuff, and we're focusing on the offense, and they're a top third offense. They're a top 3 defense. If you look at a Super Bowl contender and say, top 3 defense, top third offense, what's going to win the Super Bowl for them? It's going to be the defense.
11th ranked offense, 4th defense.
Can I tell you why your point? Let me hold on, Molly. Let me tell Max why his point doesn't matter. Because when I brought it up about the Rams being a top 2 defense, you didn't take that in the heart. You didn't give a damn about that when you were talking about Russell Wilson. But suddenly, now that they top 3 defense in Tampa, we got to elevate them from the Rams to the top 2 defense.
We there are predicting what's going to be a bigger influence, Russell Wilson's offense or the Rams' defense.
Right.
That's very different. If Russell Wilson was on the Bucs, they might be undefeated right now.
Just remember, Stephen A. has rabbit ears. He's always listening, and he will hold it against you at a later date.
Sometimes he'll say things that you said that you never said.
Forever.
Ryan knows what I'm talking about.
Ryan's sticking around here with us. He may be a rookie, but he's looking like a vet. Shout out to Drake. Which team is the bigger Super Bowl sleeper, the Fins or the Raiders? And apparently, James Harden would consider reuniting with KD in Brooklyn. What the what? Would Harden, KD, and Kyrie be able to stop the Lakers from a repeat?